Now we arrive at the one that all the parents watching have been waiting for. Exodus chapter 20. Honor your father and your mother so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. The first 4 of the 10 commandments deal with our relationship to God. We have no God but Yahweh. So we won't craft an image or idol depicting God in order to worship that. We'll keep God's name holy. We'll set aside a time of Sabbath rest to disconnect from the world and reconnect with God and each other. And the 5th commandment, though, turns the focus toward our relationship with others. And what is the very first relationship we ever experience? Our parents. Like it or not, you do not get to choose your parents. They are with you for life. Our nuclear family is the primary metaphor for how we understand and relate to God. If we were to think of God as our father or mother like biblical imagery often does, we better take those relationships seriously. As a side note, I find it interesting that both father and mother are mentioned as worthy of honor, because most patriarchal societies only honored the father as the head of the household. It's important to remember that the Bible was written with a patriarchal context and was influenced by patriarchy, but that was never the express intention of God in creation or in his first and most important commands. This is the first command to have a why to it, or a promise attached to it. Honor your father and mother. Why? So that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. I mean, this makes sense, doesn't it? We've all had moments when we've messed up in a big way, and it could have been avoided had we just listened to our parents in the first place. Ugh, don't we hate it when our parents are right? Everybody should be saying yes. I mean, it's like they actually knew what they were talking about. It's important to learn this lesson as children, but it can be even more important to live it out as adults. It's not just teenagers who struggle to honor their parents. Grown children can be just as hesitant to listen to feedback or follow advice or give the honor due their older parents. Now, this is nothing new. In fact, one of the many hypocrisies that Jesus pointed out about the Pharisees concerned this very thing. He said, "You have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. For Moses said, honor your father and mother, and anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. But you say that if anyone declares that what might have been used to help their father or mother is korban, that is, devoted to God, then you no longer let them do anything for their father or mother. Thus, you nullify the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down, and you do many things like that." You might be thinking, well, what in the world does that mean? Well, simply put, they were using their supposed religious devotion as an excuse for not helping their aging parents. Ouch. Jesus says that our family relations are more important than that. God doesn't want our stuff. He wants us to take care of each other, especially our family, and honor our commitments. The family, the father, the mother, and child, they reveal something of God's own character and nature to the world. There's a oneness from this communal bond. The two, mother and father, become one flesh, literally in the child. God's own nature is a oneness in community, Father, Son, Spirit. Our family structures are not just coincidental byproducts of evolution or the agricultural revolution. Family represents God's self to the world. I mean, think about it. The only thing declared not good in creation was when man was alone. We are created out of community and for love and oneness with the other. And that is something to be honored. Again, some people get caught up on the patriarchal structure of the family in the Bible, but in reality, scriptures fight against the traditional family hierarchy. The father is not the head of the house. Jesus is. Women do not submit to men. We submit to each other. Children are to obey and honor their parents, but fathers are to be lenient and understanding. The Bible actually subverts the traditional teaching surrounding the family. If you flip over to Ephesians chapter 6, it says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on earth. Fathers, do not exasperate your children, but instead bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord." You know what? Text your parents and tell them you love them. Better yet, call them and talk to them. Better than that, if you still live with them, walk to the living room, leave your phone in your room, and sit with them and have a conversation with them. Show them the honor and respect they are due, not because they deserve it, but because God thinks it's important enough to make the effort.